If you want your writing to actually grab people's attention and turn that attention into sales or into followers or to be able to influence your friends, this is exactly how you do it. And this is the technique that the Mad Men marketing era were actually using to do ad writing. And I personally used to reach millions of writers when I worked at The Hustle and personally on my business. Trust me, it works. The very first thing you're going to do is called copy work. Copy work is going to go against how you actually look at the world, and you're going to think it's wrong, but it's right. Trust me. How it works is you're going to find something that you like, that is a good ad, that's a good social media post, and you're going to write down what they say exactly by hand. You're going to completely use plagiarism to write exactly what they say. Because imagine if you're trying to learn a new instrument. The way to learn a new instrument isn't by inventing your own song, it's by learning songs that already exist so you can understand structure, tempo, how things work together. So you're gonna find a lot of writers that you like, different content creators that you like, and write out their videos word by word. After that, you're gonna start to gain a muscle on being able to write in that style. It's gonna help you a ton when you're trying to create, and you'll notice doing this for a week, literally just 10 minutes a day, you're gonna be twice as good at writing, I promise you. The second thing we're gonna do is follow this format called AIDA. This is a secret formula that the industry has already used, and a lot of social media has hinted at it, but here's how it actually works. A stands for attention. The first thing you have to do is grab someone's attention. How we understand that in social media now is the hook. So what is the thing that you can say that grabs someone's attention? At the top of this video, I said, if you want writing that grabs people's attention so you can get sales, blah, 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 that is the attention grabber, that is the hook. But after you have their attention, then you have to get their interest. If you notice, the next thing I said was, this is how Mad Men, is the technique that the Mad Men advertisers used. Now you're like, oh, I have your attention. And now you're like, oh, well, what's the technique that they had? Then the next thing I said was desire. That's what the D stands for. For desire, then it's, oh, I use this technique to, get sales, to reach millions of people, and like, this is how you can do it to get, followers, etc. The last piece of AIDA is attention, interest, desire, then action. Then it's the call to action. So like, what's the next thing? At the end of the video, I'm gonna ask, if you got value from this, please give me a follow. That's gonna be my follow, my finishing touch to this video. So follow that AIDA formula in all of your writing, and you'll notice that it flows better, it converts better, it actually gets sales and helps you structure as a writer. The last thing I'm gonna do is just give general advice for you, just really quick tips of things that I've learned from the trenches of doing a lot of copywriting. So the first thing is you want to write as if it's to just one person and not to a crowd. I'm just talking to you. If we were having coffee at a coffee shop, this is what I would tell you about how to become a better copywriter. I'm not talking to 1,000 people at once. The second thing is you're going to use less words when you can. Don't try to be poetic and add a bunch of complex words and metaphors and stuff. You want to keep it very simple and direct. How can you say what you want in the simplest way possible? The next piece is you're going to try to use as little as adjectives as possible. Anything that ends with an ly, try and cut that out of your writing. The best way to actually test this is use a tool called Hemingway Editor. Write an ad or a social media post, put it into this tool, look it up on Google, it's called Hemingway Editor. It'll highlight words that are of excess, something that makes it more complicated, something that makes it harder to read. You want to constantly be putting your writing through that until you can understand what really clean, crisp writing looks like. And the last thing is, the more specific you are, the better. If you say like, oh, I've helped, 100 people do this, it's actually better to say, oh, I've helped, 97 people. The more specific you are, the more legitimate it is, and because you're actually being, truthful instead of just rounding out numbers. So try and follow those general principles too. I hope that you found this helpful, and here comes the action at the end. If you found this helpful, please give me a follow, and until next time, my friends.